Okay, so now let's continue our work here. Codium dot. Today, I want to have a fully functioning web interface. So let's just start from the beginning and see what we need to do here. Okay, uh, Python Python 3 managed by from server. Yep, Django. Just formatted my PC, so yeah, let's see what's happening now. Okay, now we have a Django working. Now let's go to source. Let me just codium dot open my project from here. So here on URLs we need to configure our URLs. So include I don't need it, path, and the path will be no path include, and here let's put interface dot URLs. I usually use an interface app, so Python 3 management by start app interfaces. Great. Now I can create a URL.py, and then let me just get this. Don't need it. Let's just create port home home home. Okay, so here on views, define home, it receive a request and it will return render request, and templates, interfaces, home.html. I think that is it. Extends base.html, title is the way. Let me check here. Oh, great. Home home. Okay, so let's see this here. Now we have a little bit more beauty. HTML. Let's take this off. Title, and here is block title. And block. Block content and the block. Here usually I use a alert and some info stuff. So here I'll use if responses and if for response in responses and for ordered list list item response. Okay, and here if alert and if script alert alert. Okay, great. I think that's about it. Let me just take a look here. Probably this will handle my cases. Responses. Info. Probably I don't have it anymore, but yeah, no problem. We already have the basis stuff. Let's close it, okay, and then let's try run it again and see what will happen at that time. Run server. Okay. Autosave. Yeah, we have some stuff. Now settings. Installed apps, and here we need to add auth app. I think that I already have added it. Okay, no problem. Apps auth app config. Okay. Interfaces apps interfaces config, and from these URLs we will also add auth app and here auth app that way. Okay, let's see. Application labels aren't unique, duplicated. Let me just migrate it. Okay, let's see if something have changed. here's the problem. Duplicated static files. I think, yeah, now it's working. Run server. But now, yeah, I forgot a comma here. URLs, comma. Okay, no module name with interfaces. Now we can test it. Let me just get this, update the page. Yeah, great. So another way, interfaces, URLs. Great. Render missing one required template name. Yes. Now I can go here on views. Request template name will be interfaces home.html. Great. Now we have our home here. Great. And our auth app. Here we have this bunch of things. Great. First, let's make it a little bit more personalized and go to get bootstrap. Yeah, it's .com. So navbar. I really like these navbar over here. This one. HTML for matter. I want 4 spaces. Great. Template space. Okay, save. Now we have our navbar up here. Let's just personalize it. PG as a service, and then home, and then I don't know what to use here yet, but here for sure I want to do something. If user dot is underline authenticated, else and if. So let's make things here. So if our user is authenticated, log out. If our user is not authenticated, log in, register. Great. So here is auth app, log out. And here is auth app login. Let's see if it's already working. And it seems to be working, but not that pretty. And let's discover why. To be fair, I can get the content from btext.blog. So GitHub, let me use the one that I already have here. It's already working. Not that big of a deal to and that way I can just change the stuffs. So okay, I just need to work on this Publisher stuff. So profile, yeah, that's good. And this is specific to btext. Home, here is PG as a service. Let me see if there's nothing more, and seems to not. Great. Update, login, register, test, 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 test at test.com. Let's register. No such stable auth user. Now we can migrate. Migrate. Great. Resend them. Yeah, and here in profile. Great. Redefine password. Yeah, okay. My basic stuff's already working. Thankfully, it's all done. So let's start by doing the databases itself. So let's go to interfaces, and here on interfaces, on my home, if request.user, to be fair, home, I want the home to be the home, and I want to have another page to show the stuff, because then we can have authentication on this page. So from Django dot contrib dot author dot decorators contrib auth. There's no decorators anymore. Import logging. Why? It does exist. Okay, if it does exist, import logging. Let's get the logging required, and at logging required logging URL auth app logging. Define databases. Request return render request interfaces databases .html. Okay, so templates, new file, databases. Okay, great. Now this is still working, so let's go to URLs, databases, is still working. Databases. Yep, this decorator do works. Databases, yeah. Okay. Great. So let's add something here. So templates, base. Here, let's get this. databases. Great. So now we do have a database button that will only appear for people that's logged in. So test. Great. Let's come here on my databases, and then let's create some stuff. So here on GitHub, let's go to Postgres as a service, diagrams, and let's download it, draw.io. This device, open existing diagram, downloads. Great. So we have a UI, and this UI I will use as my databases one. I will have create and delete. So let's start from here. Great. So here I will have a list. So for database in databases, and for unordered list item, better list. I want this one. Great. Let's format this correctly. Great. The current link item, and this current link item is this first one. So let's just remove this. And the second link item, now this is what we want. For database in databases, and for database.id. Great. Database.name. Great. And we should have a button. Let's get this button over here. Div class m4. Let's put everything into here. This button will have a class margin top 42. This button is create database, create the B, and this will be an anchor, and this anchor will have link to database create. Great. Let's see if it's working. Not working. And for it's not the end for great. Create database. Great. So let's come here on URLs, database create. Now fields Okay, great. New file. Here we will put a form. Great. Great. So form method post. A database need to have a name, and I need to have a submit button. So let's get the button here again. Button type submit, create, and the database must have a name. Let's get this. Okay. Database name must to be unique. Text. Okay. Database name. Create DB. Database name must be unique. And now we need to work on our model itself. So here we need to create a class, and our class will be database instance. We will extend from models.model, and here we want a name, and we will also have a owner and created at. Okay, owner will be a user, so from Django dot contrib dot auth dot models import user. So owner will be models dot for I don't remember how to write it. Okay, so let's just models dot text field. It's not text field, is char. I don't remember these names. Models. Okay, so character field and foreign key. This is what we want. So models. Here we also have one thing that's good. Created at. Okay. Models. Great. So here, name, login info, created at, user f key will be the owner, created at will be created at. Great. Make migration interfaces. Make migrations interfaces. Migrate. Run server. Okay, so now we can come back here on our views and if request dot method post, then we want to create a database, and for this let's import from .models import database instance, and let's create an object here. Database instance will have a database instance. So database instance dot name receive request dot post, and here we will get database name, and the created at will be auto completed for us. Now we just need to dbi dot owner equals a, let's get this object instance to models views user dot objects dot get, and here we have request dot user dot id equals, okay, great, dbi dot save. But before saving, we want to make sure that there is no other database with this name yet. So the idea is no better. We can have multiple databases with the same name. We can, because on database name we'll use the owner. Yeah, no problem. We cannot have the same owner with two databases with the same name. So we just need to filter this. So let's just dot filter, and here we want to know owner if we already have an owner, and name equal if we have something here. I want to responses dot append you already have a database with this name. Okay, great. Responses if not the responses, and here context responses Okay, great. And here I want to make this query databases and the context databases. Great. So now let's create a test database, CSRF. Create CSRF underline token. Great. No attribute filter. Is filter objects. 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 Multi-value dictate key. Database name where. Okay, yeah, because probably I didn't have configured it here. So name, database name. But this is on databases. What's happening? Okay, yes, but here we don't have it. Yeah, here for sure we do have. Here we don't have it. Databases. Yeah, because that's not. I just want to know my users database. Create database test. Database instance has no owner. That's a comparison. Send databases. Yeah, here is our test database, and if we click here, there's nothing that we can do now, but let's work on it. Database, and then come here on URLs, string DID, database management. Great, great. Request. Okay, database management. .html. Databases. Create database. Manage database. And here we need to figure out something to put. Responses. Great. So first, if we are already authenticated, to just validate it, but we need to make sure that I'm reading a database that I have created. So first, we need to make this. So we want to get this database. If not database, so let's just response.append, and here let's put database permission denied. Not allowed to see this content. Okay. So if not responses, then let's get this database. Wait. else. So we didn't found, so it will fall here if we found the database instance and this instance is mine. Okay, great. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. So with not responses, I want to load this database. So database instance will get objects dot get, and then here id equals id, and then database instance will be database instance. Great. So database name again, id equals id. Great, have loaded, and then we can go to management and name equal, let's just put this database instance name, just to see if we're getting, yeah, we're getting the name. So we can create not a form div class m4. Let's use this same form but deactivate the name. Okay, management, just to have the same layout. So here we can delete database. Great, don't need it. Database name, don't need it too. Disabled. Great, database name, and the value is dbi.name. Great. Let's just see here what I did. Form control. Yeah. Let's just use it here. And here. Great. So logging task. Great. Databases create. Here it's working. Database here. It's just a list, but we can change it. Let's see. Great database, create, and I can go here. Yeah, delete's not working yet, no problem. Hey, now I need to make this database name test and this delete to work. So in management, I want this to be a href to database delete, and here dbi id, and no need to have type, and close a. Great. Now let's create this. Delete, And here, same stuff. Response. Let's just use it. So if I do get this, I want to ask. So database delete. And here I need to ask. Are you sure you want to delete the database name dbi.name? It will not be possible to undo this. Okay. If request dot method dbi.delete return HTTP response redirect. Probably have this already here too. Views HTTP response redirect views redirect databases. Great. Yeah, I want to delete, and then I come back here, create. When I create, I also want to come back here to databases. So let me management create. Great. Yeah, great. Delete, 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 delete. Great. Yeah. So I think that on UI CRUD we are done, and next we already did this here. So next I wanted to, this will be all into database stuff, so let's work with this in another moment. Next, from here I need to create new stuff. So when I create a database, let me just open it, shapes. When I create a database, I need to create an event to run Docker container with database. Not necessarily an event, a queue. Probably is that way that writes. So I need to create a queue, and this queue will be consumed by a worker. And the same thing should happen to delete. And this worker must update the status. Yep. This worker should update creation and deletion status. Update status. Update status. Great. So this is our flux. So first, let's start in the beginning. When I create a database, I need to write a action. Let's get, yeah, on db create action create action for worker to run a new db container, and worker will create db and will update creation status. This seems good. And on db delete create an action for worker to delete the db container. Worker will delete db and update deletion status. Okay, so this is not that easy. So first we'll create local ISO, mount local ISO, add mount local ISO to fs tab, and then launch container configured to client on this local ISO mount. Yeah, so this should be our flag. So let's just delete this. It will be better that way. Okay, so let's organize it. Great. And for deletion will be almost the same path. So on db delete create action for work to delete database container. Worker so from here on is the worker part. So let's just connect this. So this should be reversed. So let's just delete this, oops, and this. Okay, so remove umount, delete Yeah, and now that's good. Here's the opposite too. So delete container. Yeah, so I will delete the container. I will remove the ISO from the FS tab. I will unmount the ISO and I will delete the local ISO. Great, and then I will update the deletion stats. Deletion status. Great. So this is what should happen. And next, let's create this, and then next create this. Okay, so see ya the next time.